Hello and welcome to West Underground. Today we have another episode for you guys with none other than a swift farewell. Now, just off the bat, guys, how did you start your band and what's your story?
Sarah, I'm not Sarah. Unless you want to take it.
So basically, as all great bands do, no, we actually started on Facebook. I put out an ad on various Facebook groups looking for band members, basically. And over time, like over a couple of years, sort of went through different people, different members, and have come and gone. And yeah, through that, we've also, picked up like Sarah and that from friends of previous band members who are no longer sort of with us. So it's sort of been all over the place, but yeah, it sort of originated from a good old Facebook post in several groups in there.
On the Sydney Musicians Network, or?
And that would have been one of them, yeah.
Yeah, nice. And all the other guys, what's kind of been your story? How did you find out about the band and how did you obviously join?
I was living in Hamilton Island, Queensland for work, and I just moved back. And my first week, I was like saying to a friend, I'm going to look for a band. And then I just saw Emma's post, just hit her up. And then, was the only one audition. So it worked out.
Oh, nice, man. And Dwayne, how did you kind of find out of the band? Were you like a late joiner?
I was the one who joined. Sarah was the last one. I joined before her.
Yeah.
This was about a month after I finished uni. I was talking to mates saying like, "Hey, I miss playing music. I want to do more music." And yeah, then I saw one of the previous members' Facebook posts, hit him up. I was also the only one to show up to auditions, so I got in pretty easily. And that's my pretty short origin story.
Putting it out there though, it's not the reason that they're in. If we did not get along and love each other, then we got us back together.
I'm pretty sure the first prerequisite is like they can play. Yes.
Yes. And Sarah, what was your journey?
So in like a few months before joining A Swift Farewell, I already wanted to be in a band, so I posted something as well on Facebook, and that's when I met Noah, which he was the old guitarist in A Swift Farewell, but I met him, he wasn't in the band yet, and we played guitar for a bit, but then it didn't work out because there was no one else. And then I just kind of gave up. And then a few months later, Noah hit me up and he was like, "Oh, I'm in this band now. Do you want to, we're looking for bassists. Do you want to audition?" And there was another bassist auditioning. So there wasn't only me. So I kind of won the audition.
Nice.
You did.
I think, to be fair, she won because she came very early and it threw us off.
That was
So who's the early one? Obviously, you're the early one to practice then, Sarah. And is there anyone in the band who's like the late one who always comes like 5, 10, 15 minutes late? Yeah.
That's kind of all of us.
Yeah, so we all take turns.
Yeah.
All of the time, it's actually at my house and I'm still the last one ready. But at least I'm here technically.
Yeah.
We tried to do a competition. It was like, okay, whoever's last has to buy us a shout of drinks. And then Sarah was last one time and she bought us coffee, which was nice. And then after that we stopped because we couldn't be bothered to buy anyone else.
Yeah. It happened too often to keep track.
Yeah. We lost count and we're like, well, at least Sarah got us a drink, so that's all that matters.
Nice. Well, yeah, and then guys, like, what's been the story, like, from you guys becoming a band, obviously, and then because I'm not too familiar with you guys. Like, I found out about you through Paul, and I've been doing a little bit of back research the last couple of days, but I just want to know, like, did you get to go around and play like the pub circuit and stuff like that before coronavirus?
Not really. I mean, yeah, before COVID, we played a lot of like small venues. So like, yeah, there were pubs, but then we stopped playing small venues. I don't know.
We
They moved
decided,
on to bigger spaces.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much it. We wanted to, we decided to not play the pub shows as much anymore and focus on, releasing good music, good content, good product to, show everyone. Because at the end of the day, we're here to, play shows, but interact and get new fans and all that jazz. So we stopped doing the little pub shows just to be able to focus on one little thing and, focus on that to make it bigger.
We also found that we were starting to get asked by other bands and stuff to play with them that were sort of bigger than us, but we had so many shows going that it sort of either conflicted dates or, a lot of, you don't want to have the same band playing like 2 weeks in a row sort of thing, because, why would they go to that show when they can go to that show? So we sort of became more selective with which shows we were sort of starting to play, which is always an amazing thing to be able to do.
Yeah.
And I mean, we absolutely love playing, so we all sort of just want to play every single week anyway, but we also want to be able to grow the band, and we've sort of found that that's happened more with being more available to those slightly bigger shows than just the small local pub type shows. Not that we don't still sort of do those for fun sometimes too, but yeah.
Nice. It's really interesting that you say that, because we've interviewed a lot of bands over like the last 2 weeks, and everyone says that, like that, we're reserving ourselves for, one show a month or one show every couple of months, but releasing and then hyping up that shows just so we can, pack it out and really sell it out. And it sounds like you guys are on that road as well, which, is a good thing, because I've seen bands grow really fast as well from doing that. But just a question to you guys, like, do you prefer to perform music or write it?
I'm definitely perform. I am all perform. That's definitely my favorite part of this whole thing, which I'm very open about with everyone, including the band. We all know our strengths and weaknesses, and we definitely work together to create the best that we sort of can within those. But yeah, performing is definitely my favorite.
Nice, guys. And I feel like Paul's going to kill me after this. I haven't let him speak yet.
Happens every time. Well, it's all right. It works out for us anyway. I've just got a question. Since you guys did a few shows, is it better? Do you reckon it's better to have a great venue or a great lineup?
Oh,
Like the
I actually will start to call and I'm like, oh.
I think a great lineup.
Because like if they're friendly, they don't even have to be big bands, but if they're like fun people to be around, then that's gonna be a fun night. I don't really care where it is, but like big venues are nice too. We played the Factory Theater, like the big room, and it was crazy, but it was also nice because the bands were nice, so I feel like that matters more. But
yeah, I agree. I think
big
lineup. Yeah, because at the end of the day, if it's a really bad lineup and it's a good venue, but you just don't really vibe with the other bands, you're just like, hey, what's up? We're here. We'll play, and then we'll just chill at the merch stand. If you want to say hi, we'll say, But at least with a great lineup, you like after the show, you can hang out with everyone, talk to everyone, and even like before the show, like how like you have that setup stage, everyone's just like vibing or just talking to each other and just hyping each other up for the show, and like what a big night's going to be. And if everyone's on the same page as you, everyone's just going to do the very best at the performance, and from that it will translate to the fans, and everyone's just going to have a good time.
Does it help when big bands can bring in the crowd as well?
oh yeah,
Definitely. Absolutely.
Question,
Yeah.
So guys, who's the songwriter in the band, or do you all do it like do you share it amongst each other, or does one person kind of bring an idea to the table?
It kind of started out like our first EP was when each person joined the band and we all brought in a song, worked on it from there. Recently it's been a lot of Sarah and Rio.
Yeah.
Have been taken over, and we're cool with that. They do a hella good job.
In
Cool
saying that though, when they bring in the songs and whatever, they don't ever sound the same. It's whenever someone brings something to the plate, it's basically in knowledge that it's for everyone to then put their own flavor and vibe on everything else. And I mean, with the songs that we've sort of recently brought out, it's a completely different song to the demos that anyone had sort of brought in. In this case, the last few have been mainly sort of, Sarah and Rio. But yeah, every song that anyone has sort of brought forward has completely changed, and everyone's had their own input. Even during the actual recording process, half the time we go into record and we're like, oh yeah, no, this sounds even better. We come up with even more ideas and stuff. So yeah, it's definitely a collaborative thing, but yeah, definitely Sarah is and
I usually start or like laying down a structure or something. I try to record just a simple song with like simple drums and the structure and things, and then I give it to everyone, and then everyone adds their idea. So I write the bass, but then it's completely different at the end because everyone adds their instruments and their parts and stuff.
Yeah,
that's kind of everyone.
Nice. And do you start off like Sarah with music or melody? Do you sit there with a melody line in your head and then build it on that, or do you start?
Usually melody. I like because sometimes I just get ideas in my head and I write it. That's how most of the songs start. But sometimes I hear something fun in a song and I'm like, oh, I kind of want to try a song that sounds like this. So it starts with instruments, but it's more often the melody line. And also Rio has really good melodies sometimes, and he sends me voice memo and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna write a song to that melody. So it starts with Rio's melodies sometimes.
Oh, nice. It's always like, I love asking this question too, because there's no like definitive answer amongst different people. Everybody's different, but I love it when it's built from like melody first, because a lot of people recently be doing it the opposite way around, and I love that way. It's like the same process as the Beatles and all the bands I liked when I was from child up. So yeah. And guys, who were you like influenced by originally to play music as well? Like, who are your individual influences?
Like first ever?
Like first ever, and the ones you kind of go back to and say that those are the most important and life-changing ones.
One Direction.
That's Sarah.
They were the first inspiration, and then what inspired me to do pop punk and not just pop was probably All Time Low. And then who's inspiring me the most now, I would say is Untitled.
Nice.
Yes, that's me.
Mine, this is going to show my age, but Backstreet Boys. Remember growing up, like in Indonesia, my mum and my mum's side of the family always listened to Backstreet Boys, and my first ever tape was Backstreet Boys. So that's really got me into music, because like I was surrounded by people in my family playing guitar and singing. But the standard Blink-182, Good Charlotte, Simple Plan, Paramore was the reason I got into pop punk. But my real first inspiration was Backstreet Boys.
Nice. And the rest of you guys, Dwayne, what about yourself?
I'm a basic pop punk kid, starting off All Time Low, Mayday Parade, Piece of Ale. With song ideas recently, I feel like I've changed to like the recent Stand Atlantic album, the recent Bring Me the Horizon album, and yeah, I don't know, the more slightly evolved sound, but still sticking to where I started at the heart of it all, I guess.
Yeah. And Emma?
I started off as like a pop kid, your JoJo, Hilary Duff, that kind of stuff. I didn't mean to rhyme, but I've grown up singing. On my dad's side, they've all been in bands my whole life. So every time we'd get together, my dad would constantly play guitar, and I'd sing along to all the old school your pub rock songs as well. But yeah, my first sort of few concerts and stuff were Avril Lavigne and Hilary Duff and stuff like that. But it was definitely Paramore that I was introduced to them when I was like 15, maybe, a very long time ago. This is like 2006 or whatever when they came out. And by my next door neighbor, she's like, I'm going to go see a band. You want to come? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then my whole world changed. And yeah, that's when I hit my emo phase and never really grew out of it. So yeah, definitely, yeah, Paramore were my first and yeah, key sort of band to get me into definitely knowing that this is sort of something I want to do, and that's the sort of world that I want to be in.
Nice. I like how all your influences kind of intertwine with each other, which is nice to see.
Yeah.
And what's been the highlight of this band so far?
Ah.
Well, that's hard.
Maybe no, that's a recent one. I don't know if that's the best one, but the last show we played, the Headstrong show, it was a small show. It was at the Burger King, but it was the first stand-up show we played since COVID started. So it was our first march of our first like sold out room and stuff. So that was pretty fun, and we had a fun night. So,
yeah, we had quite a few friends that have come to those shows too. And I think that show as well was sort of, I mean, not the first time I've seen people sing our songs back, but it was the most amount of people, and people I don't know, I sort of saw were singing our lyrics, and I was like, oh, hang on. That's really cool. That's always a dream, is to watch, like, or have people like singing back to you and singing along with you. And I definitely noticed a lot more at that show, which is also a good thing about the smaller venues instead of like the bigger venues, is you do get that real face-to-face sort of interaction. You can't really see, like at the Factory Theatre, it was amazing, like the size of the stage, and it was like so much more energy to run around and jump around and move, probably to my vocal detriment, but but definitely, yeah, those smaller gigs sort of just bring everyone in closer, and it has higher energy. And I definitely think, yeah, that Headstrong gig had the best sort of energy that I've sort of played with.
Nice. And did you play with other bands that night, or was it just you guys?
We play with Days Like These from Brisbane, and Afterthought from Sydney.
Oh, nice. And who would you say your favorite bands that you've met in Sydney are?
Oh.
Or you can list a couple. Like I'm not going to ask who your most disliked ones are. I'm not going to throw you guys under the bus.
No, all the bands that we've met are really nice. The drunkest band that I've ever met is Cambridge. If we had to go specific, Cambridge is probably the drunkest. If we ever play another show with them, I've learned now I should not be drinking too much.
I like our old drunk uncles.
Yeah.
And look, every time we see them, they're coming over and like grabbing on and making sure we're all doing all right. They've sort of taken us under their wing.
But yeah, the most, like that's the drunk, and everyone else is just chilled and fun and vibing.
Yeah.
That's what's great about the current scene though, is everyone, it is such a big family sort of vibe. Like everyone just does sort of take care of one another, and which is fantastic. So yeah, I don't think we've really had much bad things sort of happen. But yeah, it's always positive and yeah, pretty loving. So cute.
Yeah. Can't really say who's the best, as everyone's just pretty much on the same level.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Especially recently, before we went back down into COVID lockdowns and stuff, the gig that Emmy from Red Hook sort of put on at Crowbar, that was an amazing event with so many members of all different bands. So that was such a big get together, and we all got to meet so many different people who we hadn't met before, or if we had some kind of communication over the socials, or heard through other people, and it was nice to put actually see people face to face. But yeah, that night really highlighted how close knit and how everyone will sort of come together and support one another. So yeah, that's a big show of how great the scene is at the moment.
Yeah. And Paul, speaking of that gig, I'll throw the torch to you.
Yeah, from the past interviews, they brought up the same gig as well. To some of them were like Badminton Bond. We interviewed Jordan and Voya, and they also Motley and Cruz as well. Was Blake Terrace was there, and just everyone we interviewed, they just brought up that one gig as well. Because I was there myself. Because I was just with the Motley and Cruz boys, the Wicked Things, and everyone else, and it was a fun night just to be with everyone. Just feel like every big person was there that night as well.
Yeah,
I just felt it was a great night for everyone to get together.
Yeah.
Did anyone compliment the bartender that was there that night?
Yeah.
Was that you? Was that you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was main bartender.
Oh, you were the one inside the
band room. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it makes sense now. Yeah.
I got to watch everything from way on the other side of the room.
And
That was
clean it
fun.
up.
Clean up the cake on the stage and all the drinks everywhere. My God.
I think that was probably my highlight, just hearing about that. It's like I had to clean it up, and it took me hours. It was so bad.
It did. I love watching it, but then as soon as I saw that cake hit the floor, I knew I had to clean it up.
I reckon I saw a tower of like plastic cups like up to the roof at one stage on the benches on the sides.
I'm pretty sure I stacked that so I could put it away later. It was a big cleanup afterwards, but a great night regardless.
I had to work early next day, so it was worth it.
Me too.
Oh my God, I was up at 4 the next morning and I didn't leave until like 1.
Ouch.
Yeah. It's not good.
I think I made a comment to Sarah that she played better than Blake that night, and I told Blake as well.
Oh, was it you? Yeah.
Yeah, that was me. So I wanted to rub it in.
I don't think so. Like, he was so good, and you told me, and I was like, oh, thank you, but I didn't believe it.
Yeah, I think I told Blake he was hogging up all the songs he never got off. I'm like, mate, you're here the whole time.
No, Blake was amazing.
He was good.
Especially learning all those songs in such a
Oh,
short
yeah.
period. I was like, whoa. he's
Yeah, I don't
just
know
knocked
how
out.
like the whole house band learned how many songs in such a short time frame. It's pretty insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Freak.
Just on your new song, what was the idea behind it with the song Sunburn?
What do you mean, the idea? Like,
Yeah,
music?
the idea. Yeah, musically, did you guys have like? Did you say you got different ideas for different songs? What was the idea behind this one?
I think when I started writing it, it was I don't know if you know the band Pale Waves, but they're like more pop than pop punk. And I was like, oh, that'd be nice if we have a slow song with like a clean guitar at the end. So I started playing the clean guitar. And for the chorus, I wanted something like Avril Lavigne kind of stuff, like just easy power chords, but a catchy chorus. And yeah, that's how the idea came. Like just easy pop punk, pop kind of song, but catchy. And then it was like the drums were really easy in my demo, and Dwayne wrote a lot of at first they were crazy, but then he dialed it down a bit, and then now the drum sounds sick.
Yeah, I tried to find a good balance of simple but complex. Took a while.
I remember when you I remember at one practice, Sarah was like, "So how's the drums going?" And Dwayne's like, "So I've give up." And we're like, "What?" I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, so you did it better, so I'm going to dial it down and just make it a bit Dwayne-y." So I'm
A
like, "Okay,
nice
cool."
indie
Pretty
That's it.
much.
That's it.
No,
I don't think I would have said a bit Dwayne.
A bit Dwayne.
I added that part.
I wouldn't have said
but-
Dwayne.
I know, but this is my perspective of the story. But it was really funny in my head.
But I really wanted a song with a piano in it because we don't have any song with piano in it. I mean, sometimes there's piano in the background, like for Mousetrap or The Fire, there's a bit of piano, but I wanted just a piano that comes in out of nowhere. So it's nice to have that soft piano bridge and that everyone was happy with it. But then it's really hard when we practice because we don't practice with a backing track. So whenever it's the piano solo, it's just nothing. We just stop and we're like, oh,
Just count.
Oh man, that was really hard.
Oh,
It's like
I think it was hard. I had to sing. I just had to count. And I start now.
Does it give you good confidence that like Triple J and magazines give you good reviews of the song as well? Does it help you guys like move forward with confidence?
oh, yeah, the reviews were really nice. Like that was really nice to read it.
And every time we hear ourselves on the radio, we're all like, "Oh my god, we're on now!
Yeah.
Quick, switch now!" We're like, "Ah!" It still gets super exciting hearing our songs on on Triple J and stuff. But it's amazing the sorts of feedback and stuff we've been getting. It's definitely really good, and it helps sort of know that we are sort of doing well. Sort of like, I mean, we do this for ourselves and we write the songs that we enjoy. We're not going to put something out just because we think it's going to do great. Like, we have to love the songs ourselves, but it's nice to hear that the rest of the industry and stuff, they're enjoying it as much as we are as well.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot of local bands have been going on Triple J Unearthed as well recently. Have you guys noticed the same thing? How there's a lot of bands just out of nowhere, they're just playing all these songs from the local area now?
Yeah, that's sick. Like,
It is sick.
Yeah. I've also noticed recently, there's a bunch of local Sydney playlists that have opened up, like the local noise playlists, and then there's kind of been several other ones as well, just kind of highlighting Sydney bands, but also putting kind of artists that are coming up in the mix with bigger artists. So you click on one of these playlists and all of a sudden you're like, oh, who are these guys? Which is cool. And now, guys, I know at the moment we're in a pretty shit time in history, but are you guys communicating and still writing music in lockdown, or you just been having a bit of a break?
I'm writing music because I don't have anything else to do. Like, I don't have my job anymore. I don't have my job anymore. I don't have anything to do, so I just write every day. Like, that's all I do. So I have a lot of demos ready, and I send it, and we'll listen to it, but we can't do much except wait for when we can all get in a room together to practice it. I do I just write the structure and the base of the song, but I need the whole band to finish it. And Rio writes bass as well. I send the tracks to Rio and he writes the bass line, but now we have a lot of demos with cool bass lines, but we need Dwayne and Emma. We need to get in a room and practice together.
Yeah.
I've heard that there's a singer called Nothing Nowhere, and for his album he wrote 200 songs or something and just picked 10 of them for the album. So that's what I'm trying to do.
How many up to now?
I think 8 or 9.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm kind of slow, but yeah.
Well, like that's good. But do you guys have the ability to, do you guys all have Logic or Pro Tools or, Ableton to be able to send over tracks to each other?
I have Logic, so that's why I've been able to write bass lines. But because working from home situation, I can't do much.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want to be too loud, and because my parents are here and my brother's here. It just gets too loud here in my house.
Yeah.
So even if I try to record, it's quite difficult to focus.
While we're on the topic of your room, quickly, man, your bed is sick.
I don't like it. I didn't choose it. Like I said, I just moved back from Hamilton Island, and my parents like, "This is your room." And I saw the bed. I'm like, "What is this monster?" I'm a small man. I don't need this big. But thank you.
Oh, just in the even the way that it's kind of in the background, it just looks very grand.
It looks bougie, if I have to be honest. And I'm like, I was like, oh God, this is so weird. Because I was thinking about it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to sit down on the floor, my back behind the wall so you can't see this. And I forgot about it. And as soon as I click the camera, I'm like, oh, I've committed now. Let's go.
Oh, well, I thought that this is how you've set up your room intentionally. And I was like, man.
Yes, this is actually rented. I have to return it tomorrow. It's just due back tomorrow. So,
And I also like the mirror in the corner too. It looks cool.
Oh God. I don't know what I'm going to do with this room. I can't do much actually.
Oh, well, a lockdown project for you now.
Exactly.
Paul, are you?
Yeah, I was gonna say something. I was gonna say something earlier, but the topic changed. I was gonna say if you had a gig, which local band would you love to play with?
Play Jay Gladstone, because we never played with them.
Oh yeah,
before.
Clay is good. Clay is good.
Yeah.
We've been trying for so long. Monday.
Clay J. Gladstone. Who else? When you say local bands, would Stanley count as
band
local?
or artists? Bands or artists? Oh, just like within Sydney, I guess.
Bellwether.
Yep. Clay J. Gladstone, Bellwether, and who's in Closure would be cool as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you reckon it could happen in the in the time the world kind of reopens? Do you reckon it's possible?
Yeah, that actually sounds possible. Like we should do it.
After this.
It sounds very possible, depending on what their schedule like. Because I feel like once lockdown's all over, everyone's just going to be announcing like, we're going to play this show at this date, and there's going to be a huge clash.
Yeah, there's so many shows.
But it's going to be sick. But then it's going to be sad because you're like, man, I really want to watch this band, but this other band's playing. What am I going to do? How am I going to split myself?
Just go to one gig and then the other one. I feel like we've done this.
We've done that, yeah.
Yeah, we should do it. That's fun.
The thing with Clay, everyone seems to cover his songs. I think you made it when you got other people covering your songs.
Yeah.
You got Blake covering his song last week. Would you guys cover other band songs as tributes or promotion for them, or?
We have we haven't recorded them as such, but on stage and stuff, maybe not small local sort of thing, but we've done Yours Truly and we did High Hopes and stuff, and we've done Stand Atlantic. We sort of covered their show at their shows, just covered their songs at our shows. So yeah, 100% would definitely sort of cover if it's a great song, it should be celebrated in every way possible.
What about venues? Do you guys have a great venue to play at, like a gold venue?
Let's add one more thing onto this as well. Let's add venue and festival.
Ooh,
Festival.
My venue choice would be Metro Theatre. I know that sounds weird.
Metro.
Yeah. The big room. I watched Fall Out Boy there live when they just got back, and the Alex Leahy with Stand Atlantic show. That was just sick. It's everyone was able to sit up, and it was just angled nice, and then you can just mosh in the very front. I thought that would be a nice venue to play.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
And-
no, oh, go.
Oh, and festival, I would say, oh no, what was it called? The one in Oxford Art Factory that had Between You and Me, yours truly.
Fest.
Ozfest, yes.
Ozfest, yeah.
Yes, I know it's not a big festival, as in like with lots of international bands, but that was really sick. Like seeing all the local artists, and I found all these cool new bands to listen to. So yeah, definitely Ozfest for me.
Nice. And the rest of you, we have thrown out this question to other bands, and as soon as we throw this out, we're like, what venue would you like to play at? And they're like, Wembley. What festival would you like?
Oh damn! Should I aim bigger?
Oh, you can be as small or large as you like, I suppose.
I'm not gonna lie, but like since I was 18, my goal venue was the Burger King, but now we played there and I didn't update my goal list. So I don't really know for venue, but probably maybe the Factory again because it was big, but like headlining. Oh, and like standing up because it was everyone was sitting down. But I really like this venue. And for festival, Reading would be great, like Reading and Leeds. It
Cool.
looked so nice.
Oh, yeah.
I was watching the video and it looked sick.
I changed mine to like Slam Dunk Fest or Warped
Oh
Tour.
my gosh.
I know.
if we're going that big, I won't change my answer.
Mine are all like non-existent anymore, unfortunately. Growing up, I always wanted to play the entertainment center.
Yeah.
So sad. And yeah, I also, going to all the sound waves and stuff, and dreamed of going over to the US and playing a big Warped Tour there. And again, sad.
Yeah, very sad.
Sad.
I mean, there is still like a couple venues that have like all the history and stuff in Sydney. I mean, the Horden Pavilion's been going on for like that long of time. Like I recently watched a video the other day where David Bowie's like playing at the Horden Pavilion in the 70s, and I was like, oh, that's random. Like you wouldn't imagine that, but it happened at some time. But yeah, I like how you brought up the entertainment center. That was always something I wanted to do, and then as soon as I got like to 18, it was.
Yep. I was so sad. I was like, there goes that dream.
Where was it?
Oh, the entertainment center.
Yeah.
Oh, it was in the city, but it was just one of those like venues where everybody had come and played for like years and years and years.
Right.
And it just had like history to it. And I don't know, it was just like if you got to that level in Australia, you did that. And then it was, but I suppose that's now what Kudos Bank Arena is.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was before you actually came to Australia, Sarah.
Probably, yeah, I've never heard of it before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like towards Darling Harbour, that big massive park. It was just
Yeah.
down that way.
Yeah.
What is it? Oh, next to Chinatown, like just across from Chinatown.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
Oh well. Like
I think it moved to Kudos. I think Kudos Bank Arena was it. They finally just moved it to Olympic Park, and then they changed companies for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
Now I feel like we got a sad
I know. What a downer.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
All right. Yeah, Paul, have you got any questions? I'm a bit stuck here, mate.
That's all right. I was just gonna ask, do you guys have like any advice for younger bands starting off?
Advice for younger bands.
Yeah, younger bands or young artists who are trying to start a band. Do you have any advice?
I have one. Don't make social media accounts before releasing music because no one cares. Like you're just gonna post pictures of yourself in a park and everyone is gonna be like, oh, they don't have music. Like before, like it's easy to be impatient and be like, oh, I want to announce that I'm in a band. But you should start to, like, it's easier if you get it right from the start, which it's not what we did. Like we posted photos in a park and then we waited
8 months
to release a song that had like they look pretty amateur, which we were, but there's bands like Wax Flower and Bellwether. They started their band by starting right, like with great music, great photos, great concepts and stuff, and it was easier for them. So like try to get it right from the start, I think.
Yeah, I think you're onto something there. I think that only works if you're a party band. Like if you're going out and, you know, getting heaps of people drunk and partying, and then that other method works. But for the most part, you know, doing it the way of just releasing music, it's like, here I am and here's my product, which is smart.
That's easier.
My other advice would be just make sure you like what you're making. Because I know from our experience, we wrote so many demos and it's gotten to a point where we're like, what is this? This is not us. Or we don't like this. And so we just scrapped it. But, you know, it's we're working on it to the point where we're getting really frustrated at each other and not understanding why we don't like it. And then we realize this isn't us. So yeah, write something that you enjoy and make sure, you know, you enjoy it enough that you can go on with it.
And before you even get to that point, like make sure that, as I said, we've gone through so many different versions of this band, different members have sort of come and gone and that sort of thing. And just because somebody can play, it can be the best player in the world, if you don't fit personality wise and vibe wise, it's not going to work. Like you are going to live basically with these people. These become your best friends, your family. You know, the idea is that, you know, we want to tour, we want to literally live in each other's pockets. And that's how so many bands break up. Like, yeah, you can be the best player in the world, but if you're a dick or whatever, or you just, you know, sometimes personalities just don't go together. Like you can be two completely amazing, lovely people, but you just, you know, you normally wouldn't just hang out. And that can be the difference between an amazing band that sort of clicks and just works well together and just shit. So yeah, and it's miserable. Like this is something you want to do for your life, then make sure it's with people you want to be with all the time for your life. Like that's a massive part of forming a band, is you're forming a family unit basically. So it's a big thing to sort of think about when you're actually sort of, yeah, just becoming a band.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that one. I think that's like the reason 90% of bands break up.
Yeah. And you don't want to put in all of the effort and, you know, finally get up to, you know, that point where you're starting to actually break it through and do stuff and then just have to fall right back and sort of start again because everyone just has a fallout and no one wants to see each other anymore. It's, yeah, bad for your music dreams and it's not great for when, you know, you're trying to, you know, it's a horrible, it's a breakup. It is a band breakup, so it hurts and it's not something you want to end up with. So you can be, you know pretty early on whether this is something that's going to work for long term.
My other advice would be go to local shows and gigs.
Yes.
Go to the scene. Like, you know, at the end of the day, everyone's friendly and you never know who you meet, because ever since I joined this band, I've just met so many cool new people and so many bands. It was like, oh, this is awesome. Like, I never knew, like, the community's been so open and friendly. And yeah, I think that's another advice I'll give. Go to shows, go to gigs, especially local ones.
Yeah, make connections. Like the more people you know, the more friends you have in the scene. They'll help you out, you help them out, you support them, they support you. You get into their shows and then eventually they'll get onto your shows and then boom, get big. More music.
I don't know.
Best plan. Good strategy. Make connections. Bottom line.
I totally agree with you, because with my experience, that's what I went through as well. I went to different gigs, hang out at Frankie's a lot, meet a lot of different musicians. But you just create this bond of just awesomeness. There's just like epic people who with the same like same mindset, same interests. It's probably why Hamish, I agreed with Hamish to do this podcast, so he can like just expose these great bands to just everyone, like nation, even international wide, because they just deserve the publicity as much as they can.
Yeah, and I think the thing with like networking and stuff like that is you never know what doors, like if you go to something, you never know what doors that's going to open. Like nothing could happen, but then all of a sudden you meet somebody there, and you talk, you hang out, or whatever. Then all of a sudden you're doing something else, and it just expands like the a network, and just one door will lead to another door, and you never know what happens.
Yep.
And you never know who's hanging around too, like especially at like venues too. Like I think that's really important as well. Like we were interviewing a girl the other day named Monica Strutt, and she's worked for like Warner Brothers and stuff like that, and she's telling us about how you'll have the all the scouts and stuff are there, just walking around, lurking in the back of the venues. They won't obviously expose themselves, but they'll be putting you onto some kind of radar too. So I think that's always important to be aware of as well.
It's also something to think about, just not even when you just it's not just playing. It is also the way that you present yourself in the crowd, sort of thing. So you don't know who you're talking to, or who may know who you're talking to. So you always want to it's just be a decent human, just don't be an asshole. But But yeah, as you said, there's always people around, and everybody, it's such a tight-knit community, everybody knows somebody. So yeah, just make friends. It's the easiest way to sort of get on people's radars, and networking and stuff, is you just make great friends and you get to make a friend.
Don't do what I did, because I got Tori and Jordan confused at one stage from Badminton and Chimera, because I thought Tori looked like Jordan and vice versa. So I was like, hey Jordan, he goes, no, I'm Tori. I'm like, oh, I was like, how embarrassing is this?
Rio is the best as far as remembering who's who. I can't remember who anyone is ever. Literally, I just follow Rio around and I go, I know we know this person. And he goes, yeah, this is such and such. He's like my little assistant.
Yeah, I was going to say, like the president with that little assistant, and like someone comes in and the assistant's like, yo, so that's this person.
Like, thank you. Oh my God. So good. If I ever talk to people and I don't have Rio, I'm like standing there going, I know you, and I know we've met before. And I'm like picking up clues. I'm like, that's who you are. I know who you are now. I'm so bad with names and faces. So I'm always like, where's Rio? Where's my Rio?
I'm really bad with names names with our own, my own circle of friends. With new people, I can pick it up very easily. But once we're close, I'll mix you with another friend, because I always do that and I always get called out. And I'm like, look, I don't know why. It just happens. Especially when we started as a band, when we had our other guitarist Noah, I kept calling Dwayne and Noah the opposite.
Yeah.
And every time I was like trying to talk about guitar stuff, I go up to Noah, or like I'm in the room and I say, hey Dwayne, for that guitar thing, can you do this? And Dwayne's looking at me behind his drum kit, like, what?
Yeah, I'd be on the other side of the room on my phone being like, what? I'm over here.
But then with other people, I'm like, hey man, how's it going? How's Ben? This is him.
Yeah, I made that mistake, but I can get Blade and Jericho. I know exactly who is who though. I can get those twins correctly every time. Not many people can.
I think with things it's hard to remember with.
But if they're not holding instruments, I could probably tell the difference.
Yeah.
Even though one's bass and one's guitar. One thing I can do right.
But I think for as far as remembering names go, if you just write, like if somebody tells you their name, like when you guys told me your names, I'm just linking it to different things. Like Rio, when you told me your name was Rio, I'm thinking of the movie Rio a couple of years ago and with the birds.
Yeah,
that's what I'm imagining.
Oh yeah, right.
It's so weird. When I introduce myself and my name is Rio, I have like this age demographic, so I can sort of figure out how old you are.
Yeah.
If you say, oh, like the Duran Duran song, I'm like, all right, you're that far behind. If you say Rio the Bird movie, I'm like, okay, you're in the early 2000s. And if you say Rio de Janeiro, then I'm like, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
I'm only thinking of Rio from Money Heist because I'm watching it now.
Yeah.
The character in Money Heist, his name is Rio, like the town Rio.
I haven't seen it yet. I've heard it's really good.
Yeah, it's really good. That's only why I could remember. Otherwise, I'll just remember your name as Rio. There's no, I don't have any problems with names.
And Dwayne, you were the Rock, like like I can't.
I've heard this joke so many times. All the haha, the Rock. My brother's name is actually Johnson, and that's the worst part.
Yeah, that's the best. That like made my day when you told me that your brother's name was Johnson.
Yeah, it's like you guys have a middle brother called the Rock. Haha, was it on purpose? Haha. I'm like, yep. Thanks.
Oh.
I've heard all the jokes.
And Emma, you were the actor Emma Watson, and then Sarah, I just was able to, your name was just easy to remember.
Just Sarah.
So sad. Sarah the French.
I get Sarah.
Just worst case scenario.
Everyone thinks I'm Sarah, so no one knows who's Emma and who's Sarah. I always say, "Are you Sarah?" I'm like, no.
What the hell? Really?
I'm Emma.
I'm sorry, Sarah. I didn't have any, one to link you to. I just have enough Sarahs in my, in my life that I was easy to, remember Sarah.
Yeah, we just interviewed a Sarah from Start Your Own Cult, and we were talking about that today because our friend was editing the YouTube video and he called her Ruby. I'm like, where did you get Ruby from, Sarah? So I don't know. He just lucky Hamish looked at the video before it got uploaded. So maybe embarrassing.
Oh no.
Just on the.
Oh, sorry, Paul. I'm done.
You go. Sorry, you go, mate.
I was going to say, before we start to wrap this up, guys, is there anything that you want to cover? You guys want to speak about?
Yeah. We just released our latest single, Sunbird. And that was an interesting experience because obviously COVID happened and our initial plan for that, we were going to do like a live music video at our headliner show at Vertigan, but that didn't happen. So we did a whole, green screen idea and that was very last minute. But if you haven't listened to Sunburn or viewed it, you can check it out on our socials. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to say. I don't know about the rest of the guys.
I never want to do another music video like that again. I had a mental breakdown trying to film that stupid thing in my against this wall. I had a sheet up on the wall, but
I stacked it.
My God.
It took me 3 hours to set up because I had to do it outside on a windy day, get all the sheets going, and then my drum kit. It took 3 hours, and I hated all of it. But we got there.
2 days because I accidentally deleted all the footage from the first day and then had to redo it again, and because I just could not bring myself to refilm it that day. I was having a tantrum. So no. And my bird didn't want to dance. She dances to everything, and then if you watch the music video, you'll see it my cockatoos in it. And as soon as she saw the little setup that I had sticky taped my phone to a mic stand and had this sort of setup in here, and she just what's going on? I was like, come on, please do something, I'm done. So yeah, I never want to do that again.
Do you guys have any plans in the next year or so with your band? You're making songs, any gigs, hopefully?
Secrets.
No,
is it secrets?
Any exclusive for your fans out there?
Do I know anything?
Sarah, you want to take this one?
Sarah, I can take this one.
Yeah.
We're gonna, as soon as lockdown is over, we're gonna be writing, and then we're gonna go to producers and stuff because we wanna get our music to the next level. So we never did songwriting with other bands or producers, but we're gonna do that as soon as we can. So that's our plan. And then we'll release more music and we'll make a sick video, because it's not going to be a lockdown video again. It's going to look very cool. And then after that, I hope we can play a lot of shows.
But
That's the plan.
But something very exclusive, our next single, it's going to have a feature, and it's going to be sick. And yeah, when you find out who it is, you know it's going to be a banger. Oh, I feel dirty saying banger. But yeah, our next single has a feature in it. It's actually already done, but then we decided to add someone to sing in it, to give it extra flavor, and that person has graciously said yes. I'm not going to reveal who it is until later down the road, just because anything can happen. But yeah, we're very excited for this person to sing with us, and hopefully when we do our headliner show, pending on COVID, we'll ask this person to come up and sing with us for this song, because it's
That sounds
definitely
exciting.
a heavier song to date, but it's the most energetic song that we have ready to go.
I like you giving away everything.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm not giving much, am I? I just said a
I
person.
know not. I know
He's gonna say
nothing.
the, he's gonna say the
Nothing.
name soon.
Yeah, I didn't mention the gender. I didn't mention the person. I felt like, you know, it's all right. I mean, we could just be dicks and be like, "Ha, surprise! We're a reggae pop band now. This is our new single."
Nice, guys. Well, thank you very much for coming on today.
All right, thank you
No
for
problem.
Thanks for having us.
No worries. Anytime, guys. And let us know when you drop your new single, and we can put it up.
We'll
Yeah.
do.
Will do.
Easy. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.